We start with fresh calls to extend coronavirus emergency measures in Japan, this time from the governor of Tokyo. The capital's case counts are going down, but the medical system remains under strain, and the Olympics are less than 2 months away. New infections have declined week on week for 13 straight days, but Tokyo's daily average for the past week is still above 600. Tokyo, Osaka, Hyogo, and Kyoto have spent a month under a state of emergency. The declaration now covers 10 prefectures. Most will expire within days, but many prefectural leaders don't want to see them lifted. Tokyo Governor Koike Yuriko says she wants measures extended for about a month. The coming Olympics adds extra pressure, especially given a so far sluggish vaccination drive. Organizers say 1,600 athletes, coaches, and delegates will be inoculated starting on June 1st. The jabs won't come from Japan's stock as Pfizer is donating them. IOC President Thomas Bach says at least 80% of people staying at the Olympic Village will be inoculated. There's new data to support the efficacy of vaccines. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says only about 10,000 or 0.01% of fully vaccinated people had reported infections by the end of April. 160 died. The researchers say this shows the shots are a critical tool for controlling the pandemic. Officials in Japan are becoming more concerned about the variant strain that's ravaging India. They've confirmed 29 infections so far, including at least one person who hadn't traveled abroad in weeks.
It's possible the patient came into contact with people who had been infected with the variant first detected in India.
The patient developed severe symptoms but later recovered. Japan has been gradually stepping up restrictions on travel from India, but experts warn some people may have developed symptoms after entering the country and spread the virus here. Health authorities across Japan confirmed more than 4,500 new cases on Wednesday and 116 deaths. Next, to a possible game changer for vaccinating children. Another pharmaceutical company says its jab is safe and effective for kids as young as 12. U.S. firm Moderna ran a clinical study on about 3,700 adolescents between the ages of 12 and 17. It says the vaccine was 93% effective 14 days after the first dose. 2 weeks after a second shot, Moderna reported no infections and no significant safety concerns. Moderna plans to submit the results to national regulators in early June, including the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The FDA already authorized its use on anyone 18 and older. If the latest request is approved, Moderna would have the second shot deemed safe for school-aged kids. Earlier this month, the U.S. approved the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for youth aged 12 and older. Vietnam was seen as a role model for containing the coronavirus, but infections began spreading again last month. The number of confirmed cases on Tuesday topped 444, a daily record. The majority of infections were related to industrial parks in the northern province of Bắc Giang. Authorities are racing to contain the outbreak. A ban on eating in restaurants came into effect in Hanoi on Tuesday. Takeout and delivery are still allowed. People returning to the capital from other areas are being asked to report their health condition. Vietnam had 0 new infections for over a month until the end of April. It's registered 6,000 cases total since the start of the pandemic. About half of them were in the past month. The health minister said in a statement that a variant was to blame. Thailand's government has also been struggling to contain a third wave since late March. Between 2,000 and 3,000 cases are being confirmed each day. The health ministry said Wednesday that 41 people died over the past 24 hours, the highest daily toll so far. Clusters have emerged at construction sites in Bangkok and a nearby province. The first local transmission was confirmed last week of the highly infectious variant first reported in India. Less than 5% of the population has received a vaccine dose. The government is urging more people to sign up to get their shots. Turning to South Korea, where the government is easing coronavirus restrictions, people who have received the first dose of a vaccine won't need to wear masks outdoors starting in July. And 2 weeks after people get their first shots, they'll be able to gather with family members for larger events starting next month. Family gatherings for the non-vaccinated will remain limited to 8 people. The country started its vaccine rollout in February. The government says that as of Tuesday, 7.7% of the population had received at least one dose. It says some people appear reluctant to be vaccinated. Prime Minister Kim Boo-kyum said on Wednesday he hopes that more people will see the benefits of being vaccinated. Two Japanese government offices said on Wednesday that their data were leaked after hackers accessed information sharing software developed by Japan's Fujitsu. The Land, Infrastructure and Transport Ministries said the leak included at least 76,000 email addresses of its employees and business partners, along with data on the ministry's internal mail and internet settings. The Cabinet Secretariat's Cybersecurity Center also said hackers stole data on the center's information system from several of its offices. Fujitsu's Project Web software is widely used by businesses and public offices. The company has suspended the software's services as it investigates the scope of the attacks. Narita International Airport Corporation revealed last week that hackers accessed software at Narita Airport east of Tokyo and stole data on air traffic control. One expert on digital information systems said he believes Fujitsu was too late to share information on the breach.
It should have immediately alerted its clients to the possible extent of the leaks and how they may have affected operations.
We are asking Fujitsu to investigate this and to prioritize supporting the offices that were the targets of the data leak.
Kato added that cybersecurity must be tightened so that hackers can't target the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics. Japan is likely getting another World Heritage designation. The advisory body to UNESCO has officially recommended adding a group of archaeological ruins to its list of important cultural spots. The Jomon prehistoric sites consist of 17 ancient ruins dotted through 4 northern prefectures. Archaeologists say they provide evidence of the Jomon period's shift from nomadic to village life. UNESCO says no other Neolithic sites on the list can compare to this rare level of insight into a way of life that flourished for more than 10,000 years. This would be Japan's 20th World Cultural Heritage Site. The U.S. Capitol's top lawyer is suing Amazon, alleging that the IT giant has used its monopoly power to prevent third-party vendors offering competitive prices. Washington, D.C. Attorney General Karl Racine filed the antitrust lawsuit in a local court on Tuesday. Racine's office alleges that Amazon fixed online retail prices through contract provisions and policies that applies to third-party sellers on its platform. The office says the agreements keep sellers from offering their products at lower prices or on better terms on any other online platform, including their own websites. The office says Amazon claimed in 2019 to have removed that pricing policy, but it says Amazon quickly and quietly replaced the policy with an effectively identical substitute and artificially inflated prices. The office says it's seeking an end to the practice by Amazon, as well as damages and penalties. Amazon has rejected the allegations, saying the relief Racine is seeking would force it to feature higher prices and would go against core objectives of antitrust law. Last year, the U.S. Justice Department filed an antitrust lawsuit against fellow tech giant Google, while the Federal Trade Commission also moved against Facebook. The Eiffel Tower in Paris has been lit up using a next-generation energy source, carbon-free renewable hydrogen. The iconic landmark was illuminated as part of an exhibition to showcase fuel cell technologies. A power generator using the same type of hydrogen fuel cell fitted in the Toyota Mirai car produced the electricity to light up the tower. The generator, with a maximum output of about 100 kilowatts, only emits water vapor.
Our number of hydrogen applications is growing quite dramatically. With everybody focusing on reducing emissions, there's clearly lots of opportunities there going forward.
Countries around the world are racing to develop hydrogen-related technology. France plans to invest more than $8 billion in the sector by 2030. It's time now for a check on world weather. Torrential rain along with dangerous winds are expected to pound many places of Japan Thursday. Our meteorologist Sakamori has the forecast.
It is going to be a stormy Thursday for many places of Japan. We are talking about drenching rainfall and powerful winds. We have a low on top of the front, and this system will likely intensify as it moves over the country. The heaviest rain will likely fall along the Pacific coast. The Shikoku region could see up to 250 millimeters of rainfall. Other areas could see nearly 200 millimeters, which could cause flooding as well as landslides. Because of the intense storm, we could see thunderstorms and even tornadoes are not out of the question. Northern Japan will also see rainfall. Sapporo will see rainy weather into the weekend. Tokyo will see quite low temperatures on Thursday. It's going to be the first teens in about 4 days, and then jumping up to 28 on Friday. Osaka and Fukuoka will also see stormy conditions on Thursday. We have been monitoring this storm system called Yas. Yas made landfall in Odisha on Wednesday around noon local time. The system is now on the weakening trend. However, it's still packing a lot of moisture, so more rain could pound northeastern India into your Thursday as well. And due to the continuous strong winds, we will see heavy rainfall plus storm surge along the coast of Bangladesh as well. Temperatures are going to be 31 in Kolkata. Rainy weather will continue into Thursday, but it's going to be sweltering hot in northwestern India. 41 degrees is expected in New Delhi. Now, before we go, I want to show you a beautiful moon seen in Greece. The full moon appeared over the ruins in Greece Tuesday night, showing its larger-than-life glow over the ancient castle and temple. This is the second supermoon of the year, and it reaches its full phase Wednesday. This also coincides with a lunar eclipse for those on the Pacific side of the world, including Japan. That's it for me. Have a nice day.
American police say an attacker at a railroad center in San Jose, California, has shot and killed 8 people. The attacker is also dead. The President and Prime Minister of Mali both resign as delegates for the Economic Community of West African States visit the country. In Lebanon, the former Nissan chairman who fled criminal charges in Japan, Carlos Ghosn, says he will defend himself to French investigators next week. And a powerful ocean storm in India and Bangladesh has forced officials to move 1.1 million people to safety.
The British Prime Minister's former chief advisor says tens of thousands of people died needlessly from COVID-19 because of disastrous failings by the government. In a parliamentary public hearing, Dominic Cummings described Boris Johnson as unfit for the job. The president of Belarus has gone on the offensive following international condemnation of the arrest of a dissident journalist. Alexander Lukashenko says he acted in line with international law over the forced diversion of a passenger plane. Several people have been killed and others wounded after a gunman opened fire in a rail yard in San Jose in California. The perpetrator is also dead. And judges in the Netherlands tell Royal Dutch Shell it has a legal duty to do more to tackle climate change. It says it will force the oil company to comply with targets to meet CO2 emissions.